shit. Here we go again. Honestly, now my head's in a blender. Fucking hell. You guys are in for a bit of a treat today. We went to the gym. We grappled and went back to the gym because the boy has bust his knee at jiu-jitsu. I can't lie. And right now, I'll be completely honest with you. I'm terrified. I'm angry. Scared. Uncertain. It's a whirlwind of emotions. I won't even sit here and lie. However, it forces you to be very introspective. It forces you to look within yourself on a very deep level, situations like this, because there's so much that comes with being injured. First and foremost, you're vulnerable. I don't like that feeling. That's not a nice feeling, right? You're physically impeded. That's instant vulnerability right there. You are filled with fears that you won't be able to fulfill your responsibilities and duties, if your responsibilities and your duties require you to be physical in any capacity. Naturally, it's human nature to fear the worst when you don't know what the exact issue is, and it fucking hurts. Like, it's physically painful, which is annoying. It's uncomfortable. It's something extra you have to think about. The pain is it's real. You know what I mean? Like, it's tangible. It's there, staring you in the face constantly. But I'm choosing to fill myself with as much energy as possible, to be quite frank, and do all I can do, and that's attack it head on. Whether it was the best thing to do or not, I don't really know, and I don't really care. But I went straight to the gym after doing it. I could walk. I had full range of motion. I could sit in a squat, heels elevated. I could come out of that squat fairly comfortably. Walking was somewhat uncomfortable. I haven't really found anything that I do that is considerably painful or uncomfortable. However, I'm pretty confident I'm pretty confident that it's an injury that was caused by the severe, let me get this right, external rotation of my knee. I'll put the clip in the video, and you'll be able to see it happen. I'll slow it down as well. But one thing that I am very positive about is the fact that it was my stupidity, my rustiness, my lack of technique, and just attempts at just bruting shit like a fucking idiot. I'm not an idiot. I know better for next time. I need to stop being so hard on myself. That did it. And it wasn't overtraining or any nonsense like that. Nah, like, I could have been fully rested, done exactly the same thing, and the same thing would have happened. So I take stock in that. I'm quite grateful for that. It's, I guess, the closest thing to an impact injury you can get when it comes to potentially damaging a ligament in your knee. And it takes me back to like an old mental practice that a man that I really look up to, who I can kind of consider one of my spiritual fathers, always used to talk about. And I remember him teaching us one time the importance of focusing on, rather than focusing on how bad things are and how bad the injury is and all the fears surrounding the injury, you're much better served focusing on what life is like without the injury, what life is like when you're healed. Same thing for an illness. And it can be very difficult in that moment. It can be very difficult. Like I alluded to earlier, when you're full of fear and uncertainty, you're sad, you're frustrated, you're disappointed, you're confused. it's very, very difficult to clear your mind and hone in on, first and foremost, okay, what do I need to do to fix it? And secondly, remember that this too shall pass and everything will be okay. It's difficult. It is very, very difficult in the moment. Very, very difficult in the moment. And I can only imagine what it must be like for people who have severe injuries. And I mean severe injuries. I've seen some bad ones. One of my closest friends had his leg snapped into shit like that. That, I commend you. I commend you for overcoming that. And I commend anybody for staying strong throughout an injury, because it's difficult, man. It's difficult. Like, and I hate to sound like a drama queen, and I'm not even trying to sound like a drama queen. I'm trying to be as open and honest as possible and as vulnerable as possible. But like, it ain't no understatement and it ain't no blasé statement when a man says that he's terrified, he's sad as shit, like, and disappointed. Like, bro, there was a moment where anybody who knows me personally, knows I'm not a crier. I don't believe it serves us as men. To be quite frank, right? The practice of crying. We'll go into that one day. I'll take a note of that. But there was a moment today where I sat in the car and I was like, nah, bro, if this is it, like, if this is like as bad as it could be, then I'm devastated. And it was emotional. It was a very emotional moment. It was a very, very scary moment. However, I felt for my mind more so than my body, it may not have served my body as well as I had hoped. Going to the gym, running like what I would say some tests, just seeing what I could do, going through some motions, jumping on the bike for 15 or so minutes. Whilst it may not have necessarily been the best thing for me to do physically, depending on your school of thought surrounding injury rehab, I needed it. Mentally, I'm not going to sit here and lie. I needed that. I needed to feel like I was in control. I needed to feel like I was going to do something about this. And I had the power to do something about this. So that was very uplifting. I'll be real. That was very empowering. Like I said, I needed that. I really did need that. And I'm glad I went. For better or for worse, physically, mentally, I'm very, very glad I went. So the menu tomorrow is very simple. It will probably cost an arm and a leg, but I need to try. I don't need to. I don't think it's that bad, I'll be real. But like, I want to get it scanned. I want to know for sure exactly what's happened. I want to know for sure exactly what's going on with my knee, because then that just gives you pure clarity. That gives you no questions. There's absolutely, I've lost the term. But there's absolutely no question in your mind as to what the next step is and what the next move is. So, yeah, I'm kind of in a place I'll bring on tomorrow. I'm going to eat as much as I can tonight before I go to bed. Fill myself with calories so my body has the energy to repair itself and recover. Hopefully get a good night's sleep. Got one thing I need to do in the morning. And then other than that, it's simply just going to be, right, who can tell me what happened to my knee? I've got video footage of it. I can tell you exactly where I'm feeling the pain, the discomfort, the movements I can and cannot do, where it's swollen, well, the whole knee is pretty, on the inside is pretty swollen, to be fair, relative to my other one. But yeah, man, all we can do is move, right? We move. All we can do is move. This too shall pass. You just got to make the best out of a bad situation. Deal with the cards you've been dealt, or whatever the saying is, man. Because sitting here and being a little bitch about it ain't going to help no one. It ain't going to help you. Ain't going to help nobody around you. Somewhat frustrating that it happened now, due to certain timings, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Like I said, all we can work with is what we have right in front of us, what we have going on now. Unlike the broken lat some 20 odd days ago, 3-4 weeks ago now. That is completely healed. This could potentially be a lot worse, but we shall overcome it. Nonetheless, we shall continue to move. It looks like I'm stuck training arms until I get my knee back. Let's see how wedge we can get in it. How'd you go? I'm coming. Anyway, if you made it this far, thank you very, very much. Appreciate it more than you can imagine, especially on days like this. I really appreciate having this to sink my teeth into on days like this now. It's very much therapy in a way. I guess you could call it that. It's therapeutic nonetheless. To just spew my thoughts and have them in a place where I can even go back to them and learn from my former self. And yeah. So thank you very much for sticking around. I appreciate you more than you can imagine. And even though we're one knee down, you better believe I'll see you tomorrow.